All right, everyone. Welcome to the 2024 LHON Conference What to Expect webinar. My name is Maria Johnson, and I am this year's conference chair. At this webinar, we are going to learn everything, not everything, but most everything you need to know to prepare yourself to come to our conference this year and have the best experience, whether you are a conference veteran or you are a newcomer to the conference, have never been before. We want you to be prepared and to be comfortable when you arrive in Cleveland, Ohio, and enjoy yourself. And we don't want it to be stressful. We don't want anxiety. We don't want nerves. We know there will be some, but we want you to know that when you're walking into that hotel, that you're walking into a place where there's going to be so many people that you will make connections with like family. And for tonight's webinar, all this information will help you to do just that. So what I'd like to do is start by turning it over to Kara Strickmeyer. And she is, I'm not going to get her title right, so I'll let her introduce herself. She is my contact and my lead person with the UMDF, the United Mitochondrial Disease Foundation, and she is in charge of planning their UMDF conference, which we umbrella under. And I don't know what I'd do without her. So I will get to turn it over to her to kick off tonight's webinar.
Thank you, Maria. Yes, I am Kara Strickmeyer, and I will be your cruise director this evening as we go through everything that's going to happen in Cleveland. I am the Director of Education and Support Services for the UMDF, United Mitochondrial Disease Foundation. And this is going on our 25th year, I believe, with the conference, or getting pretty close, if not over. I've been with the foundation for 25 years, and we started actually in Cleveland was one of our very first big conferences as UMDF, and it was in Cleveland. So it's kind of exciting to come back to Cleveland in 2024. So what we're going to do this evening, and I will be kind of going through some slides. I may go to Lisa or Maria to expand on some of the things, just maybe explain some things I might be missing. But I'm just going to try not to go too fast. Please, holler, yell. If you say, whoa, slow down, Kara, I will be happy to do that. And also I have Bethany Bonner. She's our UMDF Support Education Associate, and she's going to pop some things into the chat, and that will be available post-session on those links, so that if you want to look at and go and visit some of the sites that we're going to put in those URLs in the chat. So let's go ahead and get started. And I am going to go to just briefly give you a glance of what we're going to do tonight. So we're going to go a lay of the hotel land, like the Cleveland, Hilton Cleveland downtown. I'm going to kind of give some maps, look at things. We're going to look day-by-day schedules at a glance, the clinical research pavilion, poster sessions, and of course, Maria and her team are going to go over the program, LHON program and session highlights. I'll talk about the doctor is in a little bit, the teen sessions, as was asked by Joanne. We'll kind of talk a little bit about those teen sessions. I would like to thank our sponsors, so I'll do a little thank you out and shout out to our sponsors that make it all possible. And then just some general information about meals and housekeeping items to think about. And then our conference mobile app, which is what we use throughout the meeting. So to get started, the Hilton Cleveland downtown, we are going to be on 2 floors, basically. We're on the 5th floor and on the 3rd floor of the Hilton. So the map I have on the screen right now is the 5th floor, and it really is where a lot of the activity is going to have. And that's where the LHON conference sessions will be for the most part. You may go down on the 3rd floor for meals and possibly the Thursday mixer and even the breakouts. We're still working through some things with the hotel on that end. So we'll keep you posted, and we'll have plenty of signage, and we'll have people and volunteers and staff to help guide you once you're there. So you're not going to be alone on your journey through the conference. So on this 5th floor, we have the exhibits will be there, the registration and check-in. So basically, when you get to the conference, come to the 5th floor, because that's where we can get you all checked in, get your name badge, and get you acclimated with the area. The scientific and clinical sessions are in there's a superior ballroom. That's where we'll call it when we say superior rooms. The superior ballroom D is for the clinical scientific sessions. the patient family sessions with the UMDF, mitochondrial disease families or Superior C, and you are all welcome to any sessions at any time throughout the conference. Please know that. But the LHON program sessions are Superior A, and then right there behind this LHON session room is the clinical research pavilion. So it's all really right there on that fifth floor, a lot going on. Even the dock is in, which I'll describe later, is on the fifth floor. Do I need to go any further with that, Maria or Lissa, or is that good?
I'm going to also let people know that after we will be posting these slides, and you will be getting an email with them in it. So if it's, I know for the affected folks, it may be hard to see, but we will be sending them out so that you'll be able to zoom in and take a look at them or print them out if you need to at a later time. So don't worry.
Yes. And now we're on the third floor. And on the third floor is where the meals, like the large Friday meal, the mixer on Thursday, and possibly the LHON breakout session. Again, we'll give you more details on as those things change, it happens. The poster sessions, which I'll kind of explain what those are happening on the third floor. And then we have some breakout sessions, family breakout sessions from the UMDF are also for the families on the center meeting rooms on that floor, and the teen sessions are on that third floor as well. So again, this map, if we send the PDF, you'll be able to zoom in on it. It shows where the escalators are, the elevators. So it's pretty easy to kind of maneuver around. I wanted to, one of the slides I did not put in, and I wanted to make sure that we also this year will have something called a Hope Garden. And it really is for those, UMDF patients and families who may have lost a loved one or just want to honor their families, even if they haven't lost a loved one. Just like share pictures, sit, relax. We'll have some giveaways in that area. So I want to let you know that will be there on the third floor as well. So at a glance, this is the UMDF Mitochondrial Medicine LHON Conference at a glance. So I'm just going to go through real briefly every day. So Wednesday through Saturday are the UMDF scientific clinical sessions. We get scientists and clinicians from all over the world that come to the UMDF meeting. They collaborate, research. It's an awesome time for them. So that's Wednesday through Saturday. The clinical research pavilion, and I'll talk about that in a little bit too, will be open during posted hours. The abstract posters, I'll talk a little bit about those in a little bit. And then the Thursday is the family LHON kickoff from 1 to 3:30. And I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. And then LHON casual networking, teen sessions, clinical trial breakout sessions, and LHON patient family mixer Friday and Saturday. Again, these are at a glance. Patient family sessions, LHON sessions, teen sessions, doctors in program still running both days, and then the accelerator big pitch and evening of energy banquet. I always put on here that what we're going green again, we will have printable schedules, and I'll kind of repeat this throughout this webinar that those will be available in emails. We can share them with Lissa and Maria to post in your meetings, any groups you guys have, so that you can, if for those who want to have something in their hand rather than the mobile app, because a lot of people are like that, they want to have a printable in their hand, that you can print those out before you come. I advise everyone to wait to do something like that till closer to the meeting, because things change, things happen, speakers change, just things happen. So please wait and don't print them too early. All right, so abstract poster sessions. And if you haven't been to a meeting, you're like, what is she talking about? So Wednesday through Saturday, we will have in the foyer on that third floor abstract posters. So what this is we had over 100 submissions from researchers, clinicians, scientists, even patient advocacy groups that submit a 500-word of their study or something that they've worked on in the mitochondrial medicine field, LHON, et cetera. So those are peer reviewed. Some of them are selected to be presented during the scientific clinical sessions. The rest of them are on specific days where people will come and look at the posters, scientific and clinical. We'll go to those posters and ask questions of those people by their posters, like odd number posters on one day, even numbers are on another day. So it's kind of a really nice way to see all that research activities going that is happening. And if you ever, when you walk past that area on Wednesday or Thursday, you'll hear that buzz, that all those clinicians and researchers buzzing about all the excitement that's happening in research with mitochondrial medicine. So it's a very cool thing. The clinical research, any questions, Maria or Lissa,
No.
anything to add? Okay. So then
Will those abstracts be like accessible? I assume they're printed on a board in the room
we
there.
will in the mobile app, there will be a link, and those can be shared post-conference as well. There's a link to an abstract booklet, which will have every abstract that was submitted with the 500 words that you can download, you can have in your hand. You could also do that. You could print those before you come if you want. So yes, those are accessible that you can bring with you or view at any time. Does that answer your question? I hope so.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. And then the clinical research pavilion, we did this for the first time last year, and it was late in the game, and it went so well. There was such great data that was collected. Children's Hospital Philadelphia had some motor skill assessment studies. They had some other studies that went on. NIH had a study table. We have a couple new ones with Invitae. And so CHOP even has some new studies that they're bringing in this year. So it's really exciting. I listened to the webinar of the data from last year, and it just was so exciting to hear all of the dots that are getting connected with outcome measures and how they can prepare for drug trials and all that kind of what they have to learn, everything to get a drug development for our community, LHON, mitochondrial disease in general. They have to get those studies underway. And this is just one of the ways that we've been doing that. And we just started it in 2023, and we hope to see this grow. This year we do, and it was last year as well, that we need you to go into Mitoshare to join the study. And it's pretty easy to do. And things can evolve and change over time, but there's a lot of intricacies that go into a clinical research study. I don't know if anybody knows about IRBs, but it's a lot of hoops those people have to jump through. And it's so they've been working with UMDF for probably the past 6 to 8 months getting this ready. So they're almost ready. They've got it open. People will be able to join, and we will provide those links in the chat on how to join the Mitoshare so you can be a part of it. And we're looking at healthy controls too. So sighted supporters, if you want to join and do some motor skills, when you get there early, it's not too hard. It's like sit, stand, do a walk. It's good for them to have healthy controls because that's how they measure and that's how they get that important data. So really exciting. Love our research pavilion. Family program. So this is a glance of the UMDF mitochondrial disease family program in general. Again, you are all welcome to any sessions that you see in the mobile app, but you will have some very LHON specific sessions, and Maria will go over those soon. I'm just going to cover the quick ones for the UMDF Mito medicine ones, and that is this Thursday 1 to 3:30 is open, and that we hope that you will all join us for that because it is demystifying research and drug development. And it's kind of like, I don't know, a primer, trying to learn the nuts and bolts that's involved in drug development and getting an insider's view from patient groups that have been there and done that. We have to learn from other folks so that we can do the right thing as we move drug development forward. And I'm really excited about it, that this 1 to 3:30, because I think we can really kind of just share some of those layman friendly. What does it mean? We'll have question and answer, call to action where you can really do some polling and answer some questions and all that kind of fun stuff during that 1 to 3:30. And then we have the Ask the Mito Doc panel after that. Then there's the disease specific breakouts, which LHO, and she's going to go over all that. Maria and Paul and Lissa will go over that soon in the next slides. The mixer then is on Thursday with the scientific poster sessions. And what's kind of cool about that, I wanted to point out with the poster sessions in the mixer, one of your very own, Melinda Marsh, has a poster, and hers will be on Thursday. So that's kind of convenient. You guys are going to be on that floor for the mixer, and she's going to be on that floor with her poster. So y'all can go over and talk to her about her poster. So it's kind of cool. And then Friday and Saturday, we have our kickoff, but the LHN also has a kickoff. The State of Mitochondrial Medicine will be happening. We will have a clinical trials update session. There's a care mapping workshops, mental health track. We have several speakers, clinicians speaking to our families for a mental health track. We have Dr. Bruce Cohen doing the spectrum of mitochondrial diseases, which will include LHN probably. He'll just do a full spectrum of the different phenotypes and that kind of thing. And then more disease-specific networking. And then on Saturday, we have coffee and conversation, like LHON will have one too. Sessions on Saturday morning. We'll have a mental health track part 2 on Saturday. And then we have 2 organ system talks, a GI, gastrointestinal talk, and a renal manifestations. And then we're actually doing a closing with the rest of the mitochondrial medicine families and patients during lunch, and we'll be done by 2. LHON, as we go into the next slide, they'll discuss, they're going past that because y'all have some really great content to continue. So I'm going to move on to LHON, and I'm going to hand it over to Maria and her team.
All right. Thank you so much, Kara. As you know, Kara was going through the family patient program, you know, as she said too, that you are more than welcome to go to any of those sessions at any time over the course of Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. We do have our LHON track, but maybe one family member goes to something that may be of interest to your family over in one of the other rooms, and someone stays in the LHON room. You know, you can mix and match. You're welcome to go back and forth. Absolutely. You're not just locked into only LHON program. So starting on Thursday for the LHON program, we're going to start off with having Kara jump in here and explain which you kind of just did, demystifying the drug development, and that is from 1 to 3:30. You kind of explained that, and
yeah, I touched on that. If there's any questions,
you kind of yeah, that's 1 to 3:30, and again, it's a combined session for everyone to go if that's of interest to you. During that same time, if that's not your thing, we will be having an LHON casual networking session in the Superior A, which is the LHON conference room. And in there, we'll have folks, community leaders will be in the room. And if you're just getting into town, maybe you're getting in a little bit later and you want to pop in that room, start some networking, start making some connections, see who's in town, we'll be in that room from 1 to 3:30. Then we go into the LHON breakout session, which I'm going to ask Paul Laurie to explain.
Thanks, Maria. So yes, I'm Paul Laurie, and from 4 to 5:30 on Thursday, we're going to essentially continue the demystifying clinical trials, research, and drug development through a LHON specific breakout session. And this is going to be very informal. It's going to be table, probably 10 person round tables in the room or some configuration like that. And it's going to be table topic discussions that are going to be moderated by, we have 4 moderators right now lined up. So we're going to have 2 moderators who are geneticists from Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. That will be Elizabeth McCormick and Jamie Peterson. And then we're also very fortunate to have 2 additional moderators, Dr. Rustin Karangia, who many of you who have been in the community for a while know is a neuro-ophthalmologist from the University of Ottawa. And then he's going to be joined also by Dr. Ann Chiaramello, who is from George Washington University and is a professor and a researcher there and is well known in the mito community and in the LHON community, LHON plus community. So they're going to moderate the discussions. And I think, depending on how many people we have for this session, we do have some other ideas for moderators that will be at other tables. And I think this is going to be a really robust continuation and discussion from just talking about, what's it like to be you know, in a clinical trial, what do you need to be ready for clinical trial participation? And Elizabeth McCormick is a clinical trial, you know, sponsor at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, and she's, you know, and between her and Kira Mello, I mean, they've just done a wealth of research and as has Dr. Karangia, but they can definitely help us understand better what it's like to advance research into the potential for drug development. I think it's going to be a really good session.
Great. Thanks, Paul. And what I do want to point out is that if you do get into town a little bit later and don't make the 1 to 3:30 demystifying drug development session, it's okay. It's not going to make or break you understanding what's going on in this breakout session. So again, you don't have to go to one to go to the other. Please, you know, come in when you can, and come to the 4 o'clock session, even if you don't make it to the 1 to 3:30 demystifying drug development session. It's totally fine.
Great point, Maria. Yeah, great point.
Yes,
You really want to
yes.
really want to thank Kara, Maria, and Lissa for really giving us the opportunity to have this breakout, LHON specific breakout session.
Yes, yeah, it's gonna be great. It's the first time we've done it, so we're super interested to see how it goes, and could become a regular thing. And I'm sure the conversation in there being roundtables, there could be a lot of organic conversation that can go in a lot of different directions. So, you know, it should be a really good, intimate roundtable interactive session. So that ends at 5:30, and then we will have the LHON Conference mixer reception, and that's where we all gather to kind of have that icebreaker, see who's in town, reconnect with old friends, start initiating new connections with new friends. If you've never been to a conference, it's so great to meet people in person. We see each other on Zoom calls, you know, all year long. So taking it and coming in to an in-person meeting, and then just having this casual session from networking to now just everyone kind of seeing who's here. It really is a fun way to kick off our 2 sessions the following day, and kind of to see who's around, see who's in town, old friends, new friends, and start making those connections. So then we go into Friday, and we start off with an LHON welcome and community update. And that's basically what it says, is that myself and Jessica Loomer will be doing a welcome, and then there will be a community update to update you on things that have gone on in the community over the past year, and then what things may be going on into the community in the future, all the way to regional groups, affiliate groups, and different things like that related to the community. Then we have LHON Science Update, and I'm going to again pass this over to Paul to give us a description of that session.
The first LHON Science session is going to be basically a general LHON Science update, and it'll be the session will be moderated by me and Lissa, and our speaker. Once again, we're very grateful to have Dr. Karangia as our featured speaker for this session. And as the title of the session suggests, it should be a general science update specific to LHON. And, you know, we've listened to things that have been brought up, for instance, during LHON live calls. We've listened to or you know, registered what's been on you know, Facebook pages and questions that have been asked, and we you know, pay attention to the science, especially new research publications, new study publications, and Dr. Franz is going to explain a lot of that. He does a fantastic job, so I'm really looking forward to the session. Back to you, Maria.
Terrific. Yes, we're very lucky to have Dr. Karanja with us for a couple of days as an LHON expert and neuro-ophthalmologist. Okay, the next session after the science session is Navigating with Confidence with LHON, and that is with our speaker Joey Hernandez, who is someone from our community. She is affected, and she's going to touch a little bit on O&M training, kind of little O&M 101, the white cane, and self-advocacy when you're out and about and navigating on your own. Some tips for those who are visually impaired, but also some tips for sighted supporters as you support folks who are navigating and getting around as far as directions and getting out and about either on their own or with you as a sighted supporter, and how that can work best between the two of you. And she's really great. She's super knowledgeable, and she's very excited to present a session this year. After that, we do have, which isn't listed here, we are taking a group photo. We do this every year. And as of right now, we have around 140 people registered. So imagine that we're going to have 140 plus people in one photo. So there will be a location already scouted out, and it will be kind of asking for everyone's cooperation to just move as a group to wherever that location is. And we're going to take a group photo. We'll also be taking some smaller group photos that we typically always take. So that's going to be about 15 or so minutes before we head into lunch. Which lunch this day will be in the downstairs, the floor below us in the Hope Ballroom. When we come back from lunch, we have another great session called Exploring Employment with LHON. And I would like Jessica to take it on this one and explain this session a little bit. If she's
perfect. I'm sorry.
Oh, yes.
Took a second for mute. Sorry. Hi, everyone. My name is Jessica Loomer. I'm really excited. I'm going to be co-moderating this panel, Navigating Employment with LHON, with a wonderful new host that we have, Julie Poinsnow. And it will be, gosh, I'm just excited. There will be a variety of different jobs, and everyone's kind of talking through their different career paths and whatever that looks like. And I think that one of the coolest parts I can share about it so far is that, you know, everyone has an LH1 story, and everyone also has a career journey with what kind of fits best for them. And we're really hoping the variety really is able to resonate with a lot of people. So it's going to be great.
Great. Yes, it will be. It will be. Thank you, Jessica. After exploring employment, we have a navigating mental health session. It is a 1-hour session, but we have two speakers, Jackie Lee and Brad Thompson, and they're each going to be speaking for half an hour on various topics dealing with mental health. It's definitely a session for everybody that is there, and we always love to have a little bit of mental health because everyone can always use a little, you know, mental health check-in. So we're ending the day with that session. That evening will be the banquet, energy. Energy. I'm forgetting the name off the top of my head. Kara, energy. Kara, banquet.
Evening of energy.
Evening of energy. I know it's a lot of E's. Sorry, guys. I got a lot in my head here. An evening of energy banquet, and this is where everyone comes together for a really nice evening, and it's all the way from scientists, clinicians, and doctors to the broader mitochondrial community to all the LH1 attendees come together and attend the banquet on Friday night. Then we're going to go into Saturday, and I'm going to turn it over to Jessica Loomer to kick off this day and talk a little bit more about the things on the agenda.
Great. Thanks, Maria. All right, Saturday. I'm like, did we all talk about food? Because we start off with continental breakfast, which is always very important. And then while you're enjoying your delicious continental breakfast, please join us for coffee and conversation. We had coffee and conversation last year, and it was a hit. What's some of the coolest parts about it was 2 hours of networking, getting to really have some time to sit down and chat with somebody you've maybe never met before, but also there's some really great resources. So they're not limited to, but I'll list a couple. The LH1 data collection platform is going to be there. LH1 fundraising, magnifiers, and more, which will have a lot of cool, just being able to kind of see like the tools and other devices and things like that. So it's just great exposure to that. And then also the Carroll Center. And so this is a total casual event. Highly recommend you to attend. There's so much information to get out of it. And obviously the resources make it even better. So that's going to kick us off for Saturday. And then we'll have a break. And then right after break, we'll actually go into another LHON science session, which is, I mean, all these science sessions are incredible. I was like,
Paul can jump in.
Yeah, Paul, please.
I'm ready. LHON Science session number 2 is LHON Science Moving Forward. And this session is going to, it's going to be moderated by Dr. Caitlin Barrett, and she is the director of the Science Philanthropy Accelerator for Research and Collaboration. SPARC is the acronym, at the Milken Institute. And the Milken Institute has partnered with the LHON Collective and the leaders in the LHON community and the LHON Collective have done a fantastic job in the last, I would say, maybe year or so, or not, maybe a little less than that, of just really doing some exciting work and doing exactly what, what's in the SPARC title, collaborating with key opinion leaders, researchers, clinicians, providers, scientists who have some fascinating ideas about how to move forward with the science and with research and with, potential treatments for, that are LHON specific. I would not miss this if I were you and you were attending the conference. Caitlin is going to moderate this panel, which will consist of Dr. Karanja, Dr. Kiera Mello again, and then as well as Dr. Marnie Falk from the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. She's a geneticist. She's known in the LHON community and widely known in the mitochondrial community as well, in mitochondrial medicine. So she will also be on the panel. And I think this is going to be an outstanding session, and it's going to be such a valuable session that we added 15 more minutes to it. So be prepared for that. And I do want to say one other thing about that session is one of the things that's happened and that you're going to hear about is a document that the Milken, that's Dr. Barrett and her team, SPARC team, have prepared, called the State of the Science. And it's a big document. So what Dr. Barrett and the SPARC team have done graciously is prepared a 2-page executive summary of this document. And it's in Word format. And I believe, Maria and Kara, you can keep me honest on this, that it is attached to the mobile app, or will be attached to the mobile app associated with this LHON Science session. So you might want to check that out, before or after the session. But it's really well done. They did an excellent job of summarizing and making things very, very understandable and clear, as will this session.
Perfect. So much science. I love it. Thank you so much, Paul. All right. Then we will cruise from science right into the assistive technology talk, and it says, ask me anything. So one of the biggest things to be able to shout out here is that if you have a question about assistive technology, this is the perfect time to start submitting questions. And this will actually go to our very own assistive technology expert, Sarah Nappy. And so you can do it a couple ways. You can send Sarah an email, and you would have received that email, I think a couple days ago. And so it'll kind of talk through what questions we're looking for, or what questions and how to submit. So that email should go directly to Sarah Nappy, or you can actually submit your question on the Facebook page, the attendee Facebook page that we have. So submit either way, and she'll be actually going through a bunch of questions and being able to help answer those and be able to get you the best answer that we can provide. So going to be really great. It's going to be totally different again as last year. A lot more information, a lot different information. Obviously, tech is a huge topic to carry. So we're really excited about that. Right after Ask Me Anything for Assistive Tech, it's going to go to lunch. And then we will actually be closing out with our very last session. And let's just brag for a second. It's the Living with LH1 panel. This is the only panel that's actually happening in this conference, and it is Maria's 10-year anniversary panel. So it's really exciting. Maria, anything else to add?
Yeah, we only have one panel this year, and it's our last session. So we're going to end with, as I've heard from the past, fan favorite. And this is the panel. If you have not seen any of the videos from past conferences, this is a panel where we have folks from our community come up and tell their LHON story. And this could be folks who are affected. This could be carriers, moms of affected, children of affected parents, dads, spouses, partners. We've had every perspective. And over the last 10 years since I moderated my very first Living with LH1 panel in 2014. So it's kind of, to me, it's kind of a big deal. It's 10 years and we've got a great panel put together. I'm not going to, if you want to look it up, you can look up who's going to be on it, but I won't ruin it today. But it's an hour and a half. So we are going to have some time for some really great stories. So looking forward to moderating this panel for the 10th year. I don't count COVID. Let's just go with it. Again, hopefully it will end the conference with some really inspirational stories, some warm-hearted feelings, maybe a little emotional. It always is a little bit, but at the end of the day, all the stories end up in a really, really good place. And hopefully you'll find some connection with some of the folks that will be on the panel in whatever position you're in at the conference. And then I'll just take it. We come to LHON closing, which will be Jessica and I will be closing out the session. And we will also making the big announcement of where the 2025 conference will be held. It's top secret for right now. So we're going to leave it at that. And this should end the day around 4 o'clock-ish. And that would conclude our official program of for the LHON conference. And then it's a free-for-all. It's a free-for-all. Typically, people love to hang out after the conference. And we find ourselves hanging out in the room for a little bit, and then we find ourselves migrating to maybe a location or two somewhere in the hotel. It could be a lounge, it could be a bar, it could be a rooftop bar. But typically we all gather because we want to spend more time together. We want to foster more of those friendships, make more connections, and continue the conversations that maybe we've had with folks that we've just met or have reconnected with while we've been together in Cleveland during the last couple of days. And it tends to go into the evening. I'm not going to say what time I've been up till in the past few conferences, but it could run late, just saying. But again, if you want to hang out, we're all there to hang out. We're all there to decompress, maybe talk a little bit about conference, but maybe more so talk about the friendships and the bonds that you can make with other people in the community that get together just this one time a year, at least here in the United States. If you do have to fly out that day, hey, you've already had a lot of benefit of being there for the 3 days. We've had plenty of networking time during lunches and breakfast and afterwards. You will definitely make those connections, exchange cell numbers and things of that sort. We all do. But if you can stay, it's going to be a great evening, and we always end up with happy hearts, and we take away a lot of really wonderful feelings and connections, and we carry them through the year until next year. So it's a really go with the flow. Anything could happen, and it's all good. So that concludes really our LHON program session and all of the social stuff that goes along with it. So I'm going to pass it over to Kara for her to continue on with this with more information.
Thanks, Maria. I did want to point out too, when they brought up the handouts for the LHON science sessions, So in the app, we will have conference, there's going to be an icon for conference materials. And we did have handouts last year, and we're going to do the same thing. So as we get those documents, we will upload those into the app. We'll try to get, as many as we can get in there before the conference. So if you wanted to print them before you come, you could. So we'll do our best, and I'll work with Maria and Liz and the team to make sure we get those uploaded. So the next thing I want to talk about is the Doctors In program. Now, this is something that started back in 2002 in Dallas, Texas, at UMDF Mitochondrial Medicine. And it was kind of a play on the old Peanuts cartoon where Lucy sat at a doctor table and the doctor's in. She sat there and people came up. I don't know if you remember, that's a long time ago. I'm old. But anyway, so the Doctors In was based on that. And it's a one-to-one time. You can spend 15 minutes with a mitochondrial specialist. And we do have a couple doctors definitely that would be able to, and we have some genetic counselors that you'll be familiar with that you could talk to, and you can sign up for those time slots. We are making it fully digital. It was digital last year, but we are actually opening it up early. So please, try to get into that app. This weekend, we're going to be pushing out reminders to get into the app, because the sign up will be done through that. We will hold some spots for on-site. We won't let people sign up for everything because we know people register late and sometimes people just can't figure out the app, so we will have some that we will hold. But if you want to try to get into some sessions, a doctor is in, the times are posted here on the slide, and we'll share those post webinar as well. But you can sign up for specific doctors. There's a document that is already in the app that tells you which doctors are there, gives a little bio about them. So it's a really cool program that our family, it's been an all-time favorite with our families for years. The teen sessions. So the teen
before you go to teens real quick, Kara, can you go back one slide?
Yep.
For anyone who's following along on the slide, it does say the digital signups will be open through the app on June 7, but I'm looking on the app and the app's telling me it's June.
I forgot to correct that.
That's fine. I just wanted to make sure I've got it straight, right? So it's opening Monday, June 10th at noon Eastern. And so people can look now at the schedule and see which doctors specifically at which times, and people can identify what they're going to be wanting to go for when you open it Monday, right?
Yep.
Awesome.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I forgot to update this slide.
No worries.
We tried to back it up a little bit. Well, we wanted to give people time to get into the app too.
Oh, it makes perfect sense.
You know what? We need to give them a whole weekend to make sure they get in there. So, okay. That's that. Thank you, Lissa. And then the teen sessions are, this has just been an all-time favorite for us too as staff. We love the teen sessions. Margaret Moore and Bethany Bonner, she's been involved with it this year. We have volunteers, parent volunteers, who really help us pull these sessions together. They work with parents of teens, to pull these together. And so on Thursday, they're going to do a getting to know you activity. I think it's like a tie-dye type activity. They're going to try to do a scavenger hunt. They might just do a movie and chill on Thursday. Friday, they're going to have a chat with Dr. Amy Goldstein. And the thing about the teen session, so with Jace, he's the one teen we've talked about earlier. This is a time where they can actually, the parents aren't allowed. I mean, really, this is for the teens, so that they can sit with the doctors and the genetic counselors and feel comfortable. Sometimes for some of our teens, it's the first time they're on their own, where they can go and just be with others similar to their situation. Everybody's facing challenges. And so they can talk with Dr. Amy Goldstein. I think Jamie Peterson is the genetic counselor that's going to be in there for the Genetic Counseling 101. We're going to have therapy service animal session, which will be kind of fun. And then they're going to learn how to play pickleball. If anybody knows how to play pickleball, they're going to be playing some pickleball. An adaptive dance class will be going on. And then they have a prom on Friday night. And that is in the teen session room as well. It's a lot of fun for the kids. They really enjoy that time. And there's truly some bonds that are made at these teen sessions. I've just seen these kids grow up. Now some of them are gone. They're adults, not gone. They're adults and they don't come to them anymore, but they still talk about them. And then Saturday mornings, they're going to eat health. They're going to learn how to eat healthy with Dr. Mark Tarnopolsky. So it's basically none of these are like a lecture for teens. It's more conversation, ask the doctor some questions, And so he's just gonna, if anybody's ever met Dr. Tyrapolsky, he's just a joy. You know, he's just very easygoing, and he's an athlete himself and just very healthy. And so we're excited about that. They're going to do some yoga in the session, and then they're going to have a wooden keepsake at the end, and then they'll do a conference wrap up. So it's a lot of fun. The teen sessions are a good time. Again, I want to can't go through this webinar without thanking our sponsors, because we could not do this conference without them. We have UCB, Tacento Therapeutics, Edith E. Charitable Trust, Akron Children's Hospital Philadelphia, Stealth Biotherapeutics, Baylor Genetics, Summit Health, Abliva, Haggerty Family Foundation, the National Institutes of Health, Protokinetics, Sale Therapeutics, Solus Nutrition, Ultragenics, Varianics, and Delta Gamma Foundation. So all of these are sponsors, and we will have some other exhibitors there who are not sponsors, but they're exhibitors. So please go, you know, and take some time and thank them for being there, because they really do make this possible for us. Now, the next slide is the continental breakfast breaks and meals. I always like to do a little bit about the meals just to give a background. So when you registered, if you marked, you requested vegetarian or gluten-free, we will have a special ticket or something marked so that you can give to the hotel staff to make sure you get what you required. And if, like, let's say there's a buffet or there's a box lunch and they put the gluten-free in a certain area, we're really going to strive to have that hotel staff make sure you know where those are. And I've actually, through Lissa and Maria and Jessica's efforts, we are actually meeting with the hotel next week. We call it a pre-con meeting. And we're really kind of go through some of the things where we want to make sure their hotel staff is ready for our families, and especially the LHON community. So if you also noted other dietary, I also want to make sure that sometimes can get very complicated. So if you did have a lot of dietary needs, we'll give that to the hotel to see what they can do to accommodate your needs. But I always recommend you do what you would normally do when you travel. You know, if you have a huge list of dietary needs, you may want to contact and say, I've got this, this, and this. You may have to bring your own food, or you might have to do something else. We have, especially on our mitochondrial disease patients on the other side of the family sessions, some of them have a lot of dietary issues, so that sometimes they just bring their own food. And I always have to make continental breakfast clear, all right, where there's not bacon and eggs, and, you know, we don't do home omelets and all that. Sorry, we can't afford to do that. So we have basically oatmeal, bread, pastries, yogurt, cereal. So if you're looking for that more substantial breakfast, you might want to have to go to the hotel restaurant. So I just want to always point that out. Any questions about the meals? We good? All right. Housekeeping. I always tell people, dress in layers, bring that light sweater, because those hotel meeting rooms are very difficult to regulate the temperature. And so they're usually chilly. We prefer to go on the chilly side, and you wrap up, because if they get hot, we've had patients pass out. So we don't want to go there. So make sure that you dress in layers. The UMDF conference is intended for an educational weekend for adults and teens, for the teen sessions. Many families do bring younger children, but due to the sensitivity of topics and basically out of respect for the other attendees, we do not allow children in. We prefer that the children are not in the sessions. And one of the reasons that we do that too is that these are being recorded for families who can't make it to the conference. So we want to keep that noise to a minimal in those meeting rooms, so that the recordings are clear. Again, going green, everything's going to be on the app. Look ahead to print your copies ahead of time. I can't repeat that enough. This is some of the housekeeping that we talked about, and Maria, I may have you chime in, but you want me just to go through all these? So there's going to be a royal blue name badge lanyards that will distinguish those in the LHON community from the other MitoMed conferences. That way you guys can find somebody, you know, so the lanyards are going to be blue for all the LHON attendees. The rest of the attendees will have like a green lanyard. All right, so that might just help you identify, you know, somebody say, oh, they're with the LHON. I'll go and talk to them so they can tell me where they're going to go or where they're going to hang out. A royal blue banner marked LHON will identify the LHO conference room. So we have some signage to make it very clear of where your session room is. There will be volunteers specifically serving LHON attendees wearing royal blue vests. So that will also help you find volunteers to help you guide you through the meeting space. And at the Friday and lunch and banquet and even the mixer on Thursday, we have LHON table stand signs. So we will put this tables all together for the LHON community, and we'll keep those in the same part of the Hope Ballroom all those times, just so that you don't have to try to find them each time. We try to keep them all in the same section to make it easier. And then the vision impaired affected attendees will also receive an orange button that says, I may look good, but I don't see well. We started that, gosh, Maria, how long, and Melissa, how long ago?
Oh, gosh, years ago.
And it was a big hit. People loved them.
Yeah.
So we bring them back every year. It's like, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone does love them.
Yeah.
Everyone does love them.
Yeah. If you're a repeat attending, you still have it, bring it. You can wear it and not have to use up another one. So
yeah, and all it is that you take the button if you're affected, visually impaired, and you just kind of pin it onto your lanyard, and that way when you're walking around and sighted folks see that you have that button, they're going to know you're visually impaired, and maybe they're not going to try and high five you or expect you to put their hand out or expect you to be able to read their name badge. So they're really fun. We all wear them. And it's just kind of a thing that we just do every year.
It helps us to, in a way, with our hotel staff and staff in general, that, I kind of say, hey, if you see somebody, they're wandering around, they've got one of those buttons on and they look lost, ask them if you can help them out. See, do you need any help? Are you looking for something in particular? So it's just good to know, so it's very helpful for those that are there. The next slide I have up right now is the getting to the hotel. And again, we'll share this because it's a lot of words and it's links to the hotel site. So the pre-arrival hotel information for the Hilton Cleveland downtown is what I have on here. And I think that's just basically, I share that just so you can see what the hotel's like and what kind of activities are in the Cleveland area, that kind of thing. I have the link to the Cleveland Hopkins International Airport, because those who are flying in, they do not provide a shuttle. So you will have to get, either taxi, Uber. So make sure you plan ahead, look and see what, options are available for travel to the airport. It's about I want to say a 20-minute, 30-minute, it depends on traffic, from the hotel to the airport. The parking at the hotel is expensive. We have a discounted rate. Our discounted rate is $32 overnight. That's the discount. It's like $45 or something like that without the discount. We, on the next slide, I'll share some more information about the parking, but just plan ahead, be ready for that because that is a little bit higher. If you did not get into the hotel, there are some other sites that are on our website that you can check out to get in to a nearby hotel within walking distance, or you may have to take an Uber. Then if you, for the parking, I've personally used this before, so that's why I'm not afraid to recommend it, but spothero.com or parkwiz.com parking app. These are apps that will give you locations to park that are nearby within walking distance and a lot cheaper. And you can actually prepay it ahead of time. Like then your spot's there when you get there. I used it for the Child Neurology Foundation meeting a couple years ago, and it was wonderful. It got me right next to the convention center, and it was paid for, and it was a lot cheaper than the parking deck. So just a little extra tips that those will be available if you need it. Any questions, you guys, about the hotel or the parking that I might be missing? All right, the app. Again, you'll as an attendee, and once you've registered, you've probably received some things about the app. We have a link on, there's a document that shows a step-by-step on how to get into the app. I think we do have a video that's coming out that Cassie did to give us step-by-step as well, instruction on getting into the app. So if you have any problems, please reach out. We'll see what we can do to help you out and guide you to get you into the app. It is pretty full of it. I mean, it's chock full of information. It's to me, it's been a godsend for me, just so that I can find things easily and look at the speaker bios and just it's just been a very helpful app. The accessibility is pretty good. We've tested it with a couple people. I know Sarah Nappy looked at it last year. And Paul, do you want to I don't know if you're still on. Do you have anything to share about the app? Tips, tools, maybe I don't know.
I'm here. It just that I think it's really easy to use. I have an iPhone. It's very compatible with the iPhone and VoiceOver. And so I've been one of the testers. I've not had any issues with the mobile app.
Great. All right. Questions? Do we want to just end with, if you guys have any questions, we can open it up, and I'll give it back over to you, Maria.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kara, and thank you, Paul and Jessica, for chiming in on various parts of the LHON program. Where hopefully you got so much information that you will feel a little bit more prepared when you arrive in Cleveland to have a wonderful experience. And like we said in the beginning, this is recorded, and we will send out the recording as well as the PowerPoint slides in PDF form via email to all the registrants. Also, we'll plug them into the 2024 Facebook group so that you can rewatch it, or you can also look at the PDFs for some of the information that is on there that you maybe didn't get tonight. But if there are any questions, I know we're kind of running a little bit over the hour, but please feel free here. This is the time to ask them. And of course, you can always post questions in the conference attendee group, and we will get to those questions or inquiries at any time that you post in there. I recommend doing that. So if anyone has anything tonight, please feel free.
Maria, John Chandler was asking what vendors are going to be there this year.
Okay. So that's maybe a two-part question. So we do have some exhibitors, some presenters in the Coffee and Conversation, which Jessica touched on. They are related. Some of them are related to LHON, which is the LHON DCP data collection program, the fundraising. We also have someone coming from the Carroll Center who's going to be explaining what the Carroll Center has to offer folks who are blind and visually impaired, as well as other resources coming from the gal that is coming from Carroll Center. We also have magnifiers and more who will be bringing assistive devices, assistive technology to have on display so people can see. We will also have somebody there from OrCam, which is a device, a series of devices to help those folks with low vision, blind, visually impaired. We also may have someone there who is from Low Vision America, I'm not sure of the name, and also possibly an orientation and mobility instructor talking about the variety of types of white canes that people can get. Now, as far as exhibitors outside of the LHON room or outside of the Coffee and Conversation session, that would be Kara. And I think if you even have, is that a list of people, Kara? Or I'm not sure if that's what John wants to know.
Of the exhibitors, that's the slide that I thanked the exhibitors most, or the sponsors. Most of those are the exhibitors as well.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll be getting that information out via email on a PDF.
There's also if you use the app, the mobile app, there's a button for exhibitors, and you can see who all the exhibitors are. So that's really, John, I know you're real good with technology. Just jump on the app and you'll find all the exhibitors. A lot of them won't necessarily relate to the LHON community. A lot of them provide nutrition support for individuals, in the more broad mitochondrial community. And there's but like Baylor Genetics, if you want to talk about genetic testing with someone, you might find something there. So there's a range.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else?
Sorry, Maria, it's Carrie again. Will these side conversations be available on a PDF or only if we rewatch the video? Because Bethany's done a great job of posting links.
Yeah,
we're answering questions.
Yeah, we're gonna copy we're gonna put that in a Word document and share that with Maria and the team to post.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay. We can definitely do that. I did want to, y'all mentioned the home of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So I do hope you guys really enjoy and come help us rock.
That's right. We're going to Cleveland rocks.
Cleveland
rocks. Yeah. Well, if we've obviously given them everyone as much information as they could absorb tonight. And like I said, if you come up with any questions or have any comments, please post in the Facebook group, the attendee Facebook group, and we will get them answered the best that we can, or we'll find out the answer for you. Please reach out, or you could also tag on to any of the social media posts that are that get posted in all the groups, regional groups throughout Facebook world. And you can also comment on there, which will ping me, and then I will try and get you the answer that you need as well. And like I said, we will send this out via email and post in the group. So you will have this information to relook at again. So I want to thank Kara so very much for putting this together for us tonight. I want to thank Lissa. I want to thank Jessica and Paul for their parts in helping me as a team put together this incredible conference coming up. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be wonderful. I may be biased, but you know, it is. It really is. And I'm thrilled to have all the newcomers, as well as people who have been to many, many conferences, join us again in Cleveland. So we will see you all in Cleveland, Ohio on June 27th through the 29th. Thanks for coming tonight.